Hello again. Today we're going to tie this midge pattern. This was thought up by a man called Arthur Cove. It's called the Cove Pheasant tail. It's a great little midge pattern. I've tied another one up here with a synthetic quill body, and I really like fishing these ones with those quill bodies as well. It's exactly the same fly. It's just a variant of Arthur Coves pheasant tail midge. So instead of using the pheasant tail for the body and the copper wire, I've just literally used a quill. But today we're going to tie the original. When I first came across this fly, at the moment I saw it, I just thought, wow, that's really going to catch fish. And it does. It has everything I like in a sort of trout and grayling fly, you know. So anyway, I'll stop waffling too much. Let's take this one out the vise. In the vise is a grub shape hook. It's a heavyweight. This one's a fulling mill, but you could also use a Camazan. With the Camazan, it would be a B100. Let's just lock that off in the vise. Thread is Uni 80 in camel, and now I've just got to run this through the bobbin holder because I don't know why, but the thread's come out. So we will get that done before we start. I've used this fly in lots and lots of different waters and situations, from really big still waters to tiny little still waters to tiny little streams and carriers to the sort of main chalk streams that I fish down south here, and it works everywhere really. Everywhere you get midges, I suppose, and mosquitoes seem to be everywhere. So I've waxed this thread, and we're just going to start behind the eye a little way. I can just that and half an eye width. We're going to run it down until I'm about level with the point. We're going to break the waist off, and that is where I'm going to tie the copper wire. The copper wire I'm using here today, this is a small, and it's the it's the Uni products. So it's number 33, that one there. It's a lovely small copper. I'm going to make sure I got wax on the thread for grip. Whoops. I'm going to catch it in on my side. Come on. Whoops, there, Daisy. I'm going to catch it in on my side. And I'm just going to run this down. I'm just going to turn this a little way. I'm just going to run it down until I'm a fair way round that bend, actually, almost until you can see the thread is kind of parallel with the ground there. And then I'm going to make my way back up. Just tying the end of that wire, making sure it's all good. And then I'm going to come down sort of halfway between that point and where the wire is there. And I'm going to take some pheasant tail. This is just normal cop pheasant tail. And I'm going to take, I don't know, 4 or 5 strands, something like that. And this is just going to be for our body. So I'm going to catch it. I'm going to pull this in, and then I'm just going to come down till I meet the copper wire again. Bring my thread back up. And then I'm going to wax my thread. So you can see I'm pretty much where that point is. I like to go slightly in front of where, when you let the thread dangle down, it's in line with the point. Now, like I normally do with the pheasant tail, I'm going to wind this the opposite way towards myself, because this is always the weakest fibre, right? So the copper wire is stronger. So when we tie it in the same way as we tie the thread, it locks it in really good. And I'm just going to carefully come on up until I meet my thread. Just take your time. Whoops, come here. Take your time. And then like we do with the copper wire, I'm going to do it with what we do with the pheasant tail when we wind things towards ourselves, a turn over the material and a turn on the hook. that instantly locks that. I can let go. And I do that 3 times. Turn over the material, turn over the hook. No, and there we go. And that won't pull out, that will stay there locked. Because obviously when we wind things towards ourselves, if we just wrap over, we're actually trying to unwind it. Yeah, I learnt that the hard way. So now I'm going to come round with the copper. Let's try and get a nice straight turn at the back, and then work your way up. Just work your way up. I just dropped the bobbin if you wondered what that sound was, but we'll pretend it didn't happen and carry on. Come all the way up till I meet that thread. Come up, 90-degree bend into the wire, and then I come round with a good few turns, and then we will get rid of the copper wire. Right, I'm just going to have a little bit of a tidy up with a nice wax thread. I'm going to come down to the eye, and then I'm going to come back a little ways. And now I've got about 12 strands of pheasant tail fibres here. As you can see, that they've been cut off. I've already tied 2 flies using this, and I'll probably get another 2 flies out of this piece. So all I'm going to use it for is a thorax cover. So I'm going to turn the fly towards myself, just so I can guarantee I'm getting it on the top. Ooh. With a couple of turns, and I want to try and spread it with my nail as much as I can, 180 degrees around. And then I'm going to tie it in nice and tight. I'm going to get rid of these butt ends a little bit. Try and make a nice neat tie-in point. So I just pushed that a little bit too much over the other side. There we go. Nice sharp scissors, tidy that up. Take the thread to the eye, come back and have a look. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now I'm going for dubbing. Now this dubbing is a blend of hare's mask fur and squirrel fur. Okay, that's all it is. And I've mixed up a lot there because obviously I'm tying quite a few of these. I've done 2, 4, 6. I've done 8 of them so far. So we just pick a little bit. We're going to dub this on. It really is a simple fly, this, and I know I always say that in every video I do, but I found with fly tying, once you've got certain techniques down and maybe not so mastered, but you can do them well, like putting dubbing onto a thread, etc. Most flies are actually pretty simple to tie. So, and I've dubbed the dubbing onto the thread, and I'm going to come down almost to the eye. I'm going to come back. Might need a little more on there. Yeah, we're going to take a little bit more, because you're going to brush this out a little bit. These are going to be all the legs and all the lovely scruffy bit of the fly. I'm going to sweep it back. I'm going to come forward. And you got to watch not crowding the eye there, which I almost did. You want a little space to tie the thorax cover in. So there we go, there's your dubbing. We're going to come over with the thorax cover, and I want to flatten this as much as I can. So I don't want a thin thorax cover. If I aim that way, you might be able to see it, but I want it wide, okay? Because that's how Arthur tied it. So it's his fly, so he knows best in this pattern. So I'm going to take it over. I'm going to just throw my thread over there just to catch it, and I'm going to make sure that I've got this pheasant tail where I want it. And there you go. I'm happy with that. Double check my wax. Come over with a few turns. Pull this back. Come over with a few turns, and now I'm just going to orient the fly up in the vise a little bit because I don't want the thread slipping off. I'm going to twist these pheasant tail fibres in my hand or in my fingers because I want as clean as I can. Tie off point. spin my bobbin anti-clockwise, and I'm just gonna make a little head. There we go. Now I'm going to put the fly back to the way it should be in the vise. There we go. And now I'm going to take some UV resin. I'm not doing this with just normal varnish as I would, and I'll show you why in a second. So I'm just going to I'm just making sure my light was turned on. I'm just going to put some UV resin on the thread. I'm going to come in. Oh. Come in with a whip finish. Tighten it up. Trim. Take your torch. Just set that resin. Okay. And now with my fingers, I'm going to sweep everything down. I'm just going to use a brush here because I'm going to sweep everything down and out of the way, because I'm going to put some excuse me, I'm going to put some resin on that thorax cover just to protect it and just to make it shine a little bit. But your pheasant tail is quite a weak fibre, so I found just doing that, the thread's already been varnished and set, so that's never coming undone. There we go. It's a little bit of UV resin on top of the pheasant tail, like that. And then we'll just set that. There we go. Set that up nice. Just got a wee out. I've just got a wee fibre there. You've got to be careful with these hooks. Did you see what I did there? I do it all the time, by the way. And there it is. We'll just get my little brush back. Brush him some legs out. And there it is. That is your Coves pheasant tail. It's a great fly. I really like this fly. I like hare's ear dubbing. I like squirrel dubbing. I like pheasant tail. It's very insecty, if that's even a word. But anyway, I hope you like that one. I love tying these, hence why I've told a whole herd of them today. If you have liked it, please hit that like button. It does help with the algorithm, with people seeing my videos. Please leave a comment. If you want to see me tie anything at all, then just drop it in the comments and I'll see if I can get around to doing that for you. Please subscribe to the channel if you've not already. I'll see you on the next one, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.